What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Coolin With TVP. Here with your host Tim, and today we are going to be talking about this outlandish activity by the diddler on the internet. Man, P Diddy out here acting crazy, and it's we're gonna talk about it today. Now, first things first, I want to shout out everybody supporting the pod on YouTube. If you tune in on YouTube, you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button to join the pod. Shout out to all of the folks listening on Spotify. And we're gonna get straight into it today. Moving today solo. I got my sound people in the background handling the sound. Shout out to my sound people. But we talking about the internet is taken over by storm. Diddy, the video done came out. If y'all haven't seen it, I'll probably put up a couple of clips for y'all. But Diddy done got exposed to the fullest core. Now, I want to start this off by saying that Diddy done lost his damn mind. And this isn't something that just happened. It's just his ego done got to his head and it done finally caught up with him. Now, through today's episode, I'm going to talk about different things relating to this topic because it's bigger than just the video that showed him beating down Cassie, which was just infuriating to watch as a guy. But there's a lot of different points behind it. So I want to start with a timeline, just in case those of you who aren't familiar with what happened can get caught up to speed. So this starts, what was this, last year, I believe? Cassie filed the lawsuit suing Diddy for a number of things, but one of the things that she alleged in the lawsuit was the fact that he was abusive and he was having her do all of this crazy kind of stuff. And so I believe it was in December of last year, Diddy decided to post a statement basically saying that, his name was being drugged through the mud. People was trying to destroy his reputation. He wasn't going for none of that. And he refused. We good? Oh, okay. Uh, he refused to sit back and just, let people destroy his legacy while staying silent. So he wanted to make a public statement, which was a horrible move. And a lot of people look at it now as a narcissistic move, which could be one of many labels to it because as it's come out over the last week, there was a video that showed him beating Cassie down, dragging her like a rag doll through the hallway. So to summarize the clip, Cassie's leaving the hotel room. And this is in 2016, by the way, which is why I said there's a number of different layers we're going to peel back in today's episode. But the video shows her walking out of the room in the hallway. She's walking out of the hallway, going to the elevators. Looked like she was trying to get up out of there because something was going on. And Diddy all of a sudden comes booking it down the hallway in a towel, of all things, just in a towel. And the elevator didn't get there fast enough because Diddy caught her at the elevator. And then as you've seen in the video, slams her to the ground, stomps her, starts dragging her with one arm. Just all this with one man is crazy work. And you watch the video, and if you don't find the video disturbing, something's wrong with you. I'm going to just go ahead and say that. I don't see how any normal person with any type of empathy, sympathy, common sense, logic, or any kind of compassion for humans can find nothing wrong with this video. Now, there'll always be the few outliners who are just like, well, you don't know the whole story, and, there's two sides to every story. And those are just the goofies. Those are the goofies who need to just keep their mouth shut. Because for those who actually do their research, because I happen to be one of those people who do research. If you actually go back and look at Cassie's lawsuit that she filed, she literally detailed this exact incident in her lawsuit. That was the first thing that I noticed when the video footage came out, because the hot topic then became, oh, Diddy's done. I mean, Diddy's been done. We're going to get into that too. He's been done. But it came out like, okay, yeah, he for sure finna go down now. There's video footage of him assaulting her. She sued him. He paid her in 24 hours. Ain't no way out of this one. Well, here's where this thing called double jeopardy kicks into play. For those who aren't familiar with that. So she filed the lawsuit. He paid her the $30 million immediately within 24 hours. And I told a lot of people when I was talking about this back then, I was like, obviously a settlement is pretty much you you saying, hey, I refuse to take this to court, or I don't want to go to court. I'm gonna just pay you to just make this go away. Like I'm not gonna admit to guilt, but here's just a payment just for any type of pain and suffering or whatever, and we'll just drop this. That's basically what a settlement is. It's not the legal terms. I'm just summarizing it. But I was like, if you use common sense and you use logic and you use reality, I want somebody to think like this. Why would you pay somebody $30 million in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, when they're suing you for assault and all of these other things that was in that lawsuit? Why would you pay that so fast if you're not guilty? And there are always going to be the technical Toms out here who say, well, he didn't commit, or he didn't admit he was guilty. He just paid her off to make it go away, which is probably, as we now see, the wise thing to do. But in a normal standpoint, ain't nobody finna sit here and just settle that fast. Typically, if you're gonna settle, you at least gonna want to hear them out. Y'all gonna have a conversation, figure out what's really going on, figure out what they know, and then ultimately you'll reach a settlement. Settlements typically to this magnitude of an accusation aren't settled that fast. So I knew right away in the 24 hours, like, Diddy already got a reputation. Oh yeah, he was beating that girl. He been doing it for a long time. And she was finally tired and ready to come forward. And that's the worst thing you can do as a man of all people on this planet, is to piss off a female to the point where she's tired and she's ready to speak up, especially if you be doing something bad. That's all bad for you. So I watched the video, and when I saw that the details of one of her claims in the lawsuit was legitimately what we watched on camera, I was just like, man, I was like, this just goes to show you that money is very, very powerful. And anybody with money can make anything go away. And that's literally what this lawsuit was for those who saw it right away. But it also spoke to me that this lawsuit just happened within the last year. This settlement happened a few months ago. But this footage was from 2016. Now, how in the hell is it 2024? Now, of course, we're going to get into what's been reported. But again, just using common logic, it's 2024. Why in the hell did you sit here and all of a sudden have this footage exposed 8 years later, not too long after a lawsuit came out, with all of the other things that's been going on with it? Just like why now? I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of us have been wondering. Why now? Now there's how people call folks conspiracy theorists. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those conspiracy theorists. One of those people who actually like research and look into things to actually try to get factual information and not just throw stuff out here off of rumor mill. That's what they typically like to call conspiracy theorists. People who like dive deep into stuff that most people don't want to dive into, look up, research, and get information to another level that the typical person don't want to do. That's typically what a conspiracy theorist nowadays is labeled. And it's funny because all these people who've been called conspiracy theorists and saying all this stuff about Diddy for all these years, who've been called crazy or lunatics, all of the negative stuff that people say about conspiracy theorists, now all of a sudden it makes sense. It's logical. People have been saying for years that Diddy was beating up Cassie and Diddy was doing all these crazy things. Y'all remember the whole report that came out? If y'all didn't, I'll just quickly say, I don't know if it was Cassie or one of the people had said that Cassie was trying to leave Diddy, but she couldn't because she was talking to Kid Cudi. And Diddy tried to blow up Kid Cudi's car. Folks was like, this got to be the dumbest thing I ever heard. And now, after you seen what she did or he did to her in this hotel, is that really so hard to believe? Is it really that dumb? Just tell you, man. So anyway, 2016, this happens, is 2024. The footage now comes out. Now, what a lot of people might not be able to put two and two together with, or be able to tie two and two together with, if you went back and did some research, you will remember in October, Diddy, because if a lot of people have been like, where did all of this stuff stimulate from? Because it didn't just stimulate from the Cassie lawsuits. That's what a lot of social media will want you to think nowadays. You got to go back to October. I believe it was in October when this really took off. It may be further back than October, but I just remember October was when one of the more recent big articles came out. But it was when Diddy went to go sue Diego, the liquor brand, because y'all know he was an ambassador for Ciroc. He did not own Ciroc. I used to think that too. But he was never an owner of Ciroc. They actually just paid him to be the face of the liquor brand. So that's why, you saw Ciroc, you see Diddy. Everybody's like, oh, word, Diddy rock with Ciroc? Boom, I'm a cop Ciroc. That's just how, guess what that's called? Influencer marketing. That's the day and age we've been in. Just another influencer marketing something. So we all thought he had ownership. Nah, he didn't have ownership. He was just a brand ambassador, which, by the way, got paid $100 million to be the face of Ciroc. And here's where greed comes in. That wasn't enough for him. I don't know what normal person listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, or to have any type of logical common sense would want to have a problem with a company paying you $100 million to simply promote their brand, especially if it's liquor and you're going to drink the liquor anyway. How you have a problem with $100 million? Well, it's called greed. And that's what all of this stuff that's going on with Diddy is. He's greedy and he pissed off his bosses. Now, like I was talking about these conspiracy theories, because, they love to talk about the conspiracy theories and how crazy folks is. Well, maybe folks are going to go and do some research now that this whole thing with Diddy has really started to surface, because once the whole situation happened with Diego, that was when everything for Diddy has gone downhill. First, you went after Ciroc and Diego, a.k.a. your bosses, because they the ones who gave you the money, who helped propel you to billionaire status. And once you threaten to sue the bosses and make that publicly, now all of a sudden everything around you just starts to crumble. Just what a coinky ding, right? Just of all of the things Diddy been accused of his whole life, it's when he decides to sue the company because he feel like he want more, he deserve more, that all of a sudden his world gonna crumbling down. Ain't that crazy? Because I'm pretty sure if we go down a quick little rabbit hole, a lot of the people around P. Diddy, they not here no more. Ain't that crazy? Just coincidence, right? Is Kim Porter, his baby mama, ex-baby mama, was writing a book, right? She gone. Crazy. That's crazy. Heavy D, one of the people around his original crew when he first got in the game, gone. Crazy. Andre Harrell, gone. Al B. Shore almost was gone. Y'all know what's crazy about Al B. Shore? Wasn't Al B. Shore about to write a book too? Yeah. He dodged the bullet. And I'm actually looking forward to see what he's gonna have to say when he gets back to normal well-being, because he was almost gone too. I think he was on life support. And if y'all look at the reasons on why these people around Diddy died, it's kind of sketchy. It's kind of weird. The normal person like, oh, pneumonia-like symptoms. But how did you get them pneumonia-like symptoms? All of a sudden, after you said you was going to write a book. I'll be sure, same thing. These random symptoms. You perfectly fine till, I'm about to write a book and talk about you in my book. So, you go after your companies. All these years you got away with stuff. People was saying Diddy was tied to taking out Pac. You got the street folks who like, no, it was the streets. Diddy ain't had nothing to do with that. But it's kind of odd when somebody in the streets was like, well, he paid us millions of dollars to take him out. And then when we did it, we didn't get a check. So who y'all believe? Obviously, most people be like, this is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Now you saying you think Diddy had something to do with Pac? I'm just going with what the people around him said. Because who word is you going to take? The news? The most evil devil in America? Stuff that people just type up and throw on the internet for your entertainment purposes? Or are you going to actually listen to the people that's actually around and involved these people? All this stuff I just said over these last few minutes, this is the stuff that have happened to the people around Diddy. Comments that came out from the people around Diddy. Wasn't Cassie involved with Diddy for a long time? How many people actually took what she was saying serious? Because it ain't like she filed a lawsuit and it was like the first time we heard that they was having issues. It's been going on for years. But again, what really heightened this was what? When Diddy got pushed in the media for filing his lawsuit. Because he wanted more ownership. He wanted more money. He didn't feel like he got what he deserved. He was being underpaid after getting $100 million. Like, again, who the hell go complain about, you pay me $100? I don't even think you can spend $100 million in a regular lifetime. What are you spending $100 million on? I mean, when you greedy, you can, but Just look at the everyday person. Like average American salary, like $50,000 a year. So if you multiply that by 10 years, that's 500,000. Make that another 10 years. Now you what, a million? So for 20 years, at an average median salary, you got $1 million. So let's double that. 2 million. Okay, so you basically saying you haven't even cracked $10 million, even if you wanted to splurge and up the percentages on those numbers. So you want to sue somebody because they paid you $100 million and they made however much more money? That's greed. And this is what happened when you greedy. I hope a lot of people who actually can listen to this and get out of their feelings, even if you've made it to this point, look at this Diddy situation and just say, you know what? Maybe I should really sit back and like take people at face value and stop making excuses. We know Diddy is being this music mogul. Diddy made hits, and this is something I'm gonna get to in a little bit. Do we still listen to Diddy's music? Do we still listen to Diddy's music? But he's this music mogul. You know, I'm 35. My birthday actually tomorrow. When y'all watching this video live right now, when it drop, it'll be my birthday. I grew up listening to Diddy. You know, Diddy blew up Biggie. You know, not literally talking about music wise, but he's a music mogul and he had a lot of influence on a lot of people. Y'all remember back in the day, they said, you ain't never been to a party if you ain't been to a Diddy party. Man, don't that shit different nowadays? The accusations with Meek Mill, the audio that surfaced. Again, all the people around him gone. He's still here, billionaire status, you know, with his companies and these liquor brands. And look at Diddy now. What if you went to them Diddy parties? Which, by the way, it seems like they say that FBI raid, people was looking for footage. You know, all of a sudden the feds raid Diddy house. And we still ain't heard nothing about what they found. Ain't that a coinky dink? This just, man, you sue these big companies because you wanted more money. Then you get hit with a lawsuit. You pay that $30 million right away. Then these allegations come out about your after parties and what you be doing at these after parties. All of this, we don't hear none of this prior to you suing a company. But then after Diddy sued this company, now all this stuff is coming out. Granted, people have been making quote unquote allegations for decades about Diddy and how Diddy get down and the things he do. But the feds raiding the house, man. That was just odd that they raid your house, but we don't hear nothing else after that. What, y'all heard anything else after the raid? They raid his crib. What they find? I ain't seen nothing on the news about what they found. I just heard they raided his house. And then after they raid your house, all of a sudden, weeks later, there's a video of you beating the chick who sued you, who detailed that event that you, a few months ago, said you didn't do. This man is I say this about a lot of people in the industry, and I'm glad a number of people over the last couple of months who I've been able to have these offline conversations with are able to start seeing some of the stuff that I've been telling people for a while. When you really learn the music industry, you do your research and you see how things happen. I call them demons. We have living demons, and Diddy is a living demon because demons are demonic, satanic people. They're full of evil. They bring evil to the world. They bring people and harm around people's lives around them. And if you watch that video, it just makes you all of a sudden want to go back and be like, man, this is what we saw in 2016 and 2024. What was happening before 2016? What happened after 2016? Were these other people who we know have been in the same situation as Cassie, but they haven't spoke up? It make you think about J-Lo, the girls he dated, J-Lo, Danity Kane, was the lead singer named Aubrey? What her name? Aubrey, thing from Danity Kane. Make me think way back. Y'all remember Making the Band? That was crazy. Juniors. Go get that cheesecake, which was crazy. Vegas got a Juniors and Resorts where I still got to go check that out. I want to check that out, and I want to see how it compares. I'm going to have some of my New York folk. Shout out to the New York folk. Tell me if it's legit or not. But yeah, man, just all of this stuff with Diddy now coming forward, it now makes you want to go back and look at everything in a different light. did they walk that 45 to get some Junior's cheesecake? And some other stuff when the cameras cut off happened? Why did Danny the Kane all of a sudden stall out? You know, Aubrey was saying Diddy was doing all this, doing all that. Everybody thought she was crazy. Bad boy for life. He meant that literally, huh? That's crazy work. Bad boy for life. I see, and this is what I tell a lot of people. They tell us the truth in plain sight. He been saying this from the jump. Name this label Bad Boy. It's 2024. He's still a bad boy, literally. Crazy times we live in. Now I want to get to this apology video. This apology video, I'm about to say video, because it's this bullshit ass video is what it was. I saw the Instagram video. And for once, I kind of smiled because I've seen the comments. I tell y'all all the time I read the comments. My videos, other people's videos, because I really, truly take pride in seeing what kind of world we live in. And seeing the society we live in. And you get to learn a lot about people by the comments. Because most people not going to get on camera like I am, talk on a podcast, or start a YouTube channel, or get anywhere on social media and show their face and really express. They're going to hide behind the camera. Or they're going to hide behind the comments on a cellular device. Or they're going to hide behind the comments of an email. So that's why I like to read the comments. Because at least it tells me, you know, people going to say how they really quote unquote feel in the comments. Of course, they never say it to your face, but you can gauge society. But watching this video, it was like the first time in a long time where I'm glad people were like, man, shut your ass up. Dog, real talk, like, Diddy, bro, get the fuck out of here. Talking about you sorry and you going to therapy. I just told y'all in one of the last couple podcast episodes, I think therapy is bullshit. It's always a scapegoat. It's always an out. People love to use therapy. And I feel bad for some therapists, honestly, because they genuinely do try to help people. But then you got people like this demon right here who out here beating on people, having people lives taken from them, allegedly, since, you know, it ain't been documented in court. But when you look at the patterns, I'm pretty sure in court and cases, they track patterns on people's history. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for later. This demon guy has the audacity to say he's gone to therapy and, he trying to work through his issues and he's ashamed or feel what. I honestly don't even want to go into the full details of the apology video because it was pure bullshit. Like, my thing was when I heard Cassie sue Diddy, I already knew what she said was true. It was that sick and tired of being tired. That song, sick and tired of being sick and tired. That song, let me tell you, that's what that reminded me of when I heard that she sued this man. When he made the post, I was like, this not going to age well. She offered you a lawsuit and you had the audacity to say that you tired of people throwing your name under the mud. Sir Combs, you know the internet out here been on you for a long time. You already know you in an industry where people own your head. You got video footage of people. Clearly, people got video footage of you because you supposedly paid 50 bands to make this tape disappear from 8 years ago, and it still surfaced. You know what time it is. Your time has come. But for you to sit here and say that you tired of having your name dragged through the mud, and then months later, a case that, by the way, has been settled so you can't be retried for, but just confirms that you were guilty of what she said. You got the audacity to get on a damn camera and apologize and say that you sorry and you feel bad and all the other bullshit you said? Yo, that's narcissistic shit, man. And a lot of y'all out there need to really pay attention to this to a deep level. People will lie to your damn face to save their face. That apology video wasn't for me, wasn't for you, wasn't for social media. It was a failed, horribly PR stunt. He going through all of the stuff I named. You trying to file a lawsuit. Imagine trying to sue a company, and this is why I wanted to bring this up to y'all earlier so y'all can follow along with me. Imagine you trying to sue a company, right, who paid you $100 million to be the face of their company. And in the midst of your lawsuit, because this case is still going on, it comes out that you beat women, feds done raided your house. Then there's a video showing you beating women. Then there's a social media space where people have documentary stuff from things you've done in your past. You got other people out here accusing you of the same things that you've just now been seen on video doing. Imagine being in a lawsuit trying to sue somebody with that type of character assassination that can be verified. It's all bad. It's all bad. And you the same guy in our face talking about, I'm sorry, I went and saw a therapist. I was just going through a lot. The fuck you going through when you got $100 million? You got $1 billion net worth. You got a family. You got associates across the world. The hell you going through? Oh, you mean the inner demons is what you were going through. Them inner demons. All that BS you've been out here doing. All of the shady shit you've been doing. All the malicious, intentional things you've done to ruin people's lives has finally caught up to you. And now it's on video camera. And what's going to probably happen is we're going to see more footage of stuff and more people going to start coming out. And then when they continue digging through your cases, all your associates going to turn their back on you and they going to start talking. And then it's going to be over for you. But you going to get on camera talking about, I'm sorry. I'm telling y'all, folks, the internet, man, was just like not buying it. I love to see it. But for me, I couldn't do nothing but laugh, man, because it's kind of like y'all surprised, like, that this is the point we got to. Like, y'all surprised that he apologized. Y'all surprised he used therapy. Shout out to Cassie, lawyer, who came back basically saying, bro, you bullshitting. Shut your ass up. You only apologizing because you got caught. You know, he can't even say her name legally for legal reasons, which I'm glad he didn't, because if he did, sheesh, it'd have been worse. But again, that apology, if y'all, I tell people, look in people's eyes when they talk to you. Look into their eyes and listen to them as they talking to you. And if they can stare you in your eyes while they talking to you, and you can look into their eyes and they not like fidgety or like looking around and stuff, and they can really just stare at you. Because some people are good liars, but most people you can tell when they bullshit just by looking in their eyes. He didn't even look sorry. You know what he looked? He looked tired. His eyes was droopy. He looked like he was trying to remember what he was supposed to say. It didn't even seem sincere. It didn't sound sincere. It sounded like he was looking for a cop-out. Like a lot of people who are guilty of stuff and want to try to play the sympathy card, they look for cop-outs. They're not sorry, though. They just want a cop-out. Move on to, I guess, some type of humor in all of this. What do we do with Diddy's music? He's a demon. He's a woman beater. He's alleged for taking people out. He's tied in certain patterns to a lot of people who aren't here anymore. But he won a Lifetime Achievement Award. When the last time Diddy dropped the album that y'all even listened to? That's what I was joking around with somebody about the other day. I was like, he won that Lifetime Achievement Award. I think he dropped the album last year called Love or something like that. I ain't listened to one track on that damn album. Because I thought it was funny that he was dropping the album. But this was also after I've already researched and discovered a lot of the things that this demon has done. And again, this is my opinion. You know, this is my standpoint. We all entitled to opinions when I call him a demon. And that's based on the evidence that has been presented in this world and the things I've come across. But I asked folks, I posted on my Instagram. I did an Instagram reel asking folks just because I was just curious on this conversation. What do we do with his music? Because it made me think about R. Kelly. Kel's made bangers. Would you still listen to R. Kelly? Granted, he's convicted of the things he's done and he's locked up now. His music's still timeless, though, to this day. Do you still listen to Kel's? Well, I had to think about Diddy because a couple of the comments, I saw one that said, this is a personal matter. And I like that comment because this is a personal situation. What Diddy has done to people, the sacrifice he's done, the people he sacrificed, they came at an expense for his success. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that don't change the fact that music slapped, though. Like, you know, he was the man in the 90s and 2000s. Again, all of the stars was at his party because he had his hands in so many big hits. You know, so obviously you got to think about Biggie. Would you still listen to Biggie music today? Because if so, you still listening to Diddy. I listened to the late 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy had his hands in a lot. And so when I asked if you were still listening to Diddy's music, that wasn't even really necessarily just tied to his solo songs because I don't think he got that many solo songs. He normally got a feature. I mean, he got his songs, but most of his songs got people on them. So that's why I ask folks, would y'all still listen to Diddy music? Y'all still got him in the playlist? Because I'm pretty sure some folks, especially in my generation, got that is bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. That was a hit. I don't care what none of y'all say, it was a banger. But y'all still gonna be slapping that? Is y'all still gonna be saying y'all bad boys for life? That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. Imagine calling yourself a bad boy for life and that becomes a literal thing. Um, but back to that comment, I thought about it and I was like, if I'm gonna be honest, that's probably a real comment because there are certain songs that Diddy put out or produced or were a part of that I would still listen to. You know what I would do though? I couldn't rap Diddy verse. That's just me. I can't do it no more. You can play the songs. The songs gonna be hit. Like I Need a Girl. Diddy was in I Need a Girl. I think 1 and 2. He got a lot of Biggie ties. Like Special Delivery remix. That's hella throwback. I wonder how many of y'all even know about that. But Diddy, a part of a lot of music, man. And so my answer to that question, if somebody asked me, I'm like, yeah, I still listen to Diddy music. I seen the Instagram reels and the TikToks about people who got Diddy in his playlist and they screen recording and deleting all of his stuff out of the playlist. I think it's funny, but um, social media is entertainment. I told y'all it's a facade. We just get on social media, laugh, have a good time, but you can't take everything serious. But I wouldn't listen. I probably couldn't rap his verses no more, or like I had to just nod to the beat when he come on because it is a personal thing. And the thing about music is, especially with me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, one reason we all resonate with music is because the music hits us personally. So when I saw the comment, I was like, this is a personal matter. I said, that is true. What Diddy is going through is a personal matter. This is a reflection of him as a person. Um, but you can't say it's not a reflection of him as a music mogul because some of these people who he were tied to in the music scene, Diddy was there also. So it's kind of a double-edged sword that you really got to think about. It was a surface level question, but for the people like me who like to really like deep dive into thoughts, it was a deep dive question. And so that's why I wanted to talk about that on this pod. I'm gonna put it out there for today's episode because I was like, man, I like to go back to the 90s and 2000s and listen to music. And if you go back to the 90s and 2000s, there's songs that Diddy had his hands in, a lot of them produced, was on. Like, I mean, we got to keep it 100 about that. So it just made me think, man, if you hear that song come on, you going to skip that on Pandora? Or if it's on that Spotify playlist, you going to take it out of Spotify or on YouTube? But like, do not recommend. Like, how y'all going to handle his music? I figured that'd be some humorous way to talk about this whole situation because music bring us all together. We all been through stuff in life. We all go through hard times to these days in life, and depending on when you grew up or what era of music you grew up listening to, certain times and certain songs will get you through certain moments today because of things you went through back in the days. And so that was ultimately why I posed that question. So I want y'all to comment if y'all on YouTube for sure. Comment, let me know if y'all would still listen to Diddy's music after all of these, I guess we still got to say allegations. But is it really an allegation if it's on video footage, though? He can't be convicted of it because he's settled. And because he's settled, that's not an admission of guilt. It's just an agreement to settle the issue, dispute it. And even though now there's video evidence, he can't go to trial for it because he was already accused of it and settled it. So trying to retry him will be double jeopardy. But we saw you clearly did the thing she accused you of. That's a hard thing to beat, man. It's a hard thing to overlook. So those who like to always say allegedly, I guess because of, defamation of character and all of that, because that's a real thing. I get that, but I don't think we can say this is an alleged thing. This is video proof, which makes it a fact. I mean, it happened. It's not nothing we making up to make somebody look bad. It's something we all watch. So I want y'all to share y'all comments in the video. Let me know what y'all think about this Diddy situation. How y'all feel about it? How did watching that video make you feel? Like, I don't even have any kids, but just as a man, like if I was in the position of a father and I got daughters, I'll be ready to go to war. Like with the significant other, this your girl, I'm ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? If this guy was doing this to my mom, I'm ready to go to war. Like, I don't stand for dudes putting their hands on women. I say, unless it's a life situation which is an extreme because people always like to take certain extremes to try to get a point across. So we'll just speak in general purposes, with the exception to the rule, because my rule is I'm not fighting and punching and throwing my hands on no woman. Unless you got a gun to your head or a knife to your head or she doing something to that extreme, I'm not fighting no woman. I don't condone or encourage no man to fight no woman. And I hate when I hear dudes say they'll fight a girl. It drives me crazy when a girl says she'll fight a guy. It drives me nuts. Because I just don't think men and women, just for biological reasons, should even be doing that, number one. But number two, like, men and women, we supposed to work together. Men fight men, we trying to be dominant. That's more understandable. Women fight women, same thing. But a guy fighting a woman, especially how I grew up, man, that ain't never been okay with me. And so, on so many levels, watching that video, it really hit me a certain type of way. Watching him do that, it was just as a guy, it's embarrassing, because there's a lot of Me Too movement stuff going on nowadays, and a lot of it just be capped for people to get a payday. But a number of it be true. And the problem is when you got it all intertwined, you got women who lying and women telling the truth. It's hard to distinguish who's being honest and who's lying a lot of the times. But regardless of the matter, it don't make no guy, just because you angry or upset with a woman, to put your hands on her. Like, I do believe there's two sides to every story, but there's no need as a guy, unless your life is at stake, to put your hands on a woman. Walk away. Leave her ass. But fighting, come on, nah, that ain't okay. I can't get down with that. But y'all drop y'all comments, share your thoughts, man, and I'll holla at y'all in the next episode.